know you got problems. I know you got problems. I know you got problems. Yes, I have problems. Yes, I have. What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess on the mostest, Givenchy, and we are here with season 4, episode 3 review of Johnson, available to stream on Bounce TV. You can also catch up on seasons 1 through 3 on Hulu. If you don't have Bounce, and if you like it, go and bounce on over to Bounce TV and catch up on these episodes. Okay, new episodes drop every Saturday. Let's see, anything happened since the last time you heard from me? This has been the longest, shortest work week I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I cannot believe how long it's been. I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready to do nothing, okay? But there's so many things dropping and so many things happening. But something really sweet did happen to me today. So, a subordinate of mine, like randomly, it was just like giving me feedback on just how he says I'm the most positive person he's ever met, and I'm the kindest person he's ever met, and that he thinks it's because this is his first time like interacting with somebody who's genuinely like loves themselves. Like, he was like, you love yourself so much. And it's one thing to be like, I always say that you cannot be the measurement of who you are because you're not on the receiving end of yourself. So it's up to others to say who you are to them, because they're the ones receiving you. They're receiving your moods. They're receiving your attitude, your temperament, and your everything. And so while I know I've been working on myself, it was really surprising and took me off guard that in a conversation that we were talking about something completely different, just shooting the shit, he was just like, how you are makes me want to live differently. He was like, you treat yourself so good, and it makes me see that I don't treat myself as good as I should. And he said that how I am makes him want to treat himself better. And I don't know that I've ever been complimented, and that's like a very high compliment. It's just, it was a great day. I didn't see it coming, and I really appreciated it. So I would just say, like, if y'all got people in y'all's lives that are genuinely like making you feel better and making you change and making you grow internally, like, just let them know. Because they'll probably feel how I feel, a little bit like shy and embarrassed about it, but they'll feel that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they'll feel more that they are like kind and they are moving with a purpose. Because that's one thing I always say is I want to be kind. I don't want to be nice, because being nice, one, nice means foolish, but two, when being nice, you don't necessarily move or communicate with people in your authentic way. But when you're kind, you speak authentically, even if it may hurt the other person's feeling. But the kindness is in having those tough conversations and having those good conversations, but not throwing it all out there and then moving away. It's like giving the information that needs to be said, and then sitting there and allowing the person to process those things and then receiving it back. And so I just try to be kind in every space that I'm in, whether it's here, on the internet, face to face. I try to just be me and just be authentic, knowing that everybody's not gonna like me, but that's okay. I'm okay with that, because I love me so much. I'm so in love with me and the growth that I have that I'm okay with not being everybody's cup of tea. Anyways, diving into the episode, so I watched it a couple of days ago, and I just watched it again just to get a refresher because I caught up on all the episodes and everything was just like blurring in my mind. But what I didn't do in my notes is write down the name of the episode. So the name of today's episode is titled The Help. And the premise of the episode is basically Omar's new hire brings a new energy to the company. Jarvis stages a fake appraisal, which we talked about last time. And Keith gets a new side gig that, of course, he's not very good at because he's Keith. And if you've been watching this, Keith has his strengths. But baby, them weaknesses be shining bright like a diamond all the time. So let's get into it. As you know, our creator is Deji LaRay, and he also wrote this episode. Our director is, once again, Juwan Lee. And the cast, we have Deji LaRay, Thomas Q. Jones, Derrex, I can't remember his name, it's not in front of me because I didn't write it down, and Philippe Smithey. And then we have our new character players, which is JB, who is the new hire at Omar's firm. And then we have some old ones, Lisa, who is Jarvis's ex-wife. So we're opening up and Jarvis is interviewing JB. And this is just such a really fun interview. We spent a lot of time in this interview, just I would just say like screen time, because JB don't got no phone. Okay, he don't be on the internet, he don't do nothing. The last time he had a job was like in the 90s and he got laid off, but he's really smart and he's really good at what he does. So while Omar is a little bit taken aback, like, okay, how do you like communicate with employers and stuff, and he was like, face to face. Omar wants to give him a chance because he likes his energy. So he goes out and he pulls up like the website or whatever interface and stuff that they're doing, and he's sitting there and he's like, let me get some jazz music. And all the kids, I'm calling them kids because they're younger than me, but Gen Z workers, they're around and they're just kind of like crack jokes because he wants jazz music played in the background. And he's like, look, this is why y'all be waking up angry, because y'all go to bed to Future and you wake up to I don't know, Ghostface Killer. I don't know, that's an older rapper, but still. And so he does it, he puts it up, and he tells Omar, like, you know, this isn't the best that it could be, but, you know, just right now it's a nice little mock-up, we could do everything. And Omar was like, bro, you just did all this in 20 minutes? He said, put some respect on my name. It was in 18 minutes because it took me 2 minutes to go get them donuts so that I can have the energy to even do this. So he passed the test with flying colors, and Omar used it as an opportunity to kind of slide in like, oh, the job is yours if you're also willing to work like longer hours so that we can meet deadlines. And he was like, yeah, duh, like, I'm true to this, I ain't new to this. But he also brings in the newer generation. It was just like, especially Christopher, who is the main like ringleader of not wanting to work late and complaining about the amenities and the things that are luxuries that he would like to be a necessity in the workplace. So Omar tells him, look, you know the app and you have a more like up-to-date knowledge on how to use these things and how the interface will be more user-friendly for today's generation. But JB also has the experience and the behind the scene of even creating this and get it to what it looks like. So let's use what we know from JB, which, hello, MySpace, we were coding all of the stuff on our page. Okay, JB knows. And so let's use the MySpace generation of things and pair that with knowing like marketability of 2024, and we can produce something and actually meet our deadlines. So Omar is super happy. JB is happy because he got a job. But Christopher and the gang is just kind of like, he's old. He can be my grandpa. Which he really can't, but y'all know how it is. Once you're over the age of 22, all these kids be like, oh, you this, you that. And it's like, I want you to go to bed and say your prayers every night and hope that you make it past the age of 25. And if you think anything past the age of 25 is old, baby, I got news for you. So we're on the street in the neighborhood where like Keith works and like the businesses and stuff where he lives. And so Rich, somebody he knows who is also the neighborhood watch president, was like, hey, look, I know the rent increase has gone up because of gentrification. How would you like a little side gig? You can make an extra $500 a month if you get added to our neighborhood watch. Like, it's just been a lot of break-ins. The stores are being broken into, cars are being broken into, stuff is getting stolen. We need to look out for each other. And Keith is like, you know what? I could use the extra money. And, you know, I was a hall monitor in school. Like, how hard could it be? You know, looking out my window, you know what I'm saying? I spy with my little eye, you know, people stealing on the street, and then we're gonna stop them. We're gonna call 911. You know, I'm a good boy. Like, of course I'm gonna do those things, and I love the money. So it seems like a match made in heaven, and he really doesn't have to do anything except just report suspicious activity. If he sees people that don't belong, maybe get in their description, what car they're driving, what clothes they're wearing, things of that nature. Easy peasy. The next shot, we have Greg playing chess with Darius, which he's the big brother of, which I mentioned in the last episode. And Darius is really good at chess, and Greg is just like, wow, you could be in tournaments, like, you're really smart. How did you get into this? And Darius goes, and his late grandfather, he talks about how he spent so much time with him, and he's like bragging on like all the different interests and stuff that he loved that his grandfather brought. And of course, a lot of his interests outside of anime and stuff like that are of an older generation, like 2 to 3 generations ahead of him. And he mentions that he wants to go to this performing arts school, which is where Outcast went to, and he's really excited about it. And Greg is like, you know, well, what's the issue? Like, are you not able to do this at your school? And he talks about how basically he wants to transfer schools or just go somewhere else and be in another program outside of the school that he's in, because he doesn't fit the stereotype of what a little black kid is supposed to like. He likes anime, he likes dancing, he likes old school movies. He wants to be the next Sammy Davis Jr., and that's not gonna fly where he is. And it's just unfortunate. It was like such a touching moment, but also unfortunate, because if you've been watching my podcast or listening to my podcast, you know, like, I am this child, and there's so many of us. Like, right now I'm in the Ones Who Live fandom, I'm in the Interview with the Vampire fandom, I'm in the Blood of Zeus fandom. I love anime. I was a dancer for so many years. I'm just a nerd of things that I love. I just went to Comic-Con. It was a great time, and I'm seeing so many black people now, like in their 30s, 40s, 50s, actively participating and dressing up and putting on their costumes and doing all of these things. And it's like, man, if they were just poured into and wasn't constantly berated for being a specific type of black, where could they be? You know, who could they have been? How many spaces could we have created and infiltrated for the rest of us coming up? So I really love this scene, and it's only a 10 sad, but you can see like the spark behind Greg's eyes where he genuinely wants to help Darius, and you can see the wheels are turning, because he's now thinking of a way to make this happen for this child, because you see yourself in that, and you want opportunity. And Greg's character, for all intents and purposes of him sometimes being irresponsible, he expresses great responsibility and care when it comes to rearing a child. It's very important to him, and it's very near to him. And so that's what makes all of this like really special. He's doing something outside of going to the basketball court or football with this young black and gifted child. Last episode, we left off with Jarvis and the black couple who was basically getting shafted on their appraisal for their house. So Jarvis came in and was just like, look, we need to redo everything in here that has a black presence, starting with Black Jesus. So I have some choices. Okay, we got the white one, we got a light-skinned Jesus. Either way, I think this is gonna go over for white people. But it's unfortunate, and he explains to the family, like, look, we can't fix the bigotry and the racism and the discrimination overnight, but I want to get this house sold for you. Like, we can look it up and look into some laws and report people on the back end, but I really want to be able to get this sold for you. Not only for them, but remember, his business, it's been a little bit slow. He's been losing a lot of his major clientele. So he's really working to just try to do the best he can and think on his feet. So the appraiser comes and Lisa is there posing as somebody named Kimberly. Lisa is Jarvis's ex-wife. And the guy is in there and he comments on the picture of white Jesus and all types of stuff. And one of my favorite moments of the episode is it's some fucking butter cookie cans. It's the butter cookie cans sitting on the counter for like a display. And the man was like, I can't even get it out. He says, oh, can I have some? He said, oh, can I have some? And she said, yeah, sure. And he opened it up. Sharpie's pens, a phone charger, and some batteries. She said, oh, I also like to double it as a personal storage. Blackness, Deji. Oh my God. Like, just so many childhood memories of like getting my hair done on a Sunday night and being like, oh, you know, go get the hairband and you go get the big ass cookie jar and it's separated with barrettes, beads by color, everything. And to see this white man, and Lisa didn't know no better either, see this white man be like, oh, can I get some cookies? And she was like, yeah. And I opened that shit up. Oh God, thank you so much. Oh. Oh, it's even funnier in my memory. Oh God. Okay. So everything ended up going well with the appraisal. And Lisa meets Jarvis outside and she's like, you know, if you ever need anything, you know, let me know. Like, I don't hate you. We're not strangers. Like, we used to be married. And then they move along into the conversation where Lisa asks, you know, if he's seeing anyone. And he was like, nah. And she was like, oh, well, you know, that makes sense. Like, you're predictable. You know, basically kind of calling him boring. But it seemed like she was just trying to like dig a little bit and offer a space for her to just say that she was dating somebody I think like at least a decade younger than her, because she said that he's 22. And I felt like while she was talking in this voice, and oh my God, like, you're gonna be fine, you know, everything that you do is just predictable, you know, you follow just the routes, like, and it's okay, like, you follow the routes, you have a plan and you stick to it. But yeah, I'm seeing someone. It's crazy. Like, it was just very disingenuous in how she brought it up. I honestly don't even believe that she's seeing somebody. I think she really wants to get her husband back, but she was trying to figure out like what his life was doing, and but then she wanted to make herself seem like her life was going better. I don't believe that she has a man. That's just me guessing. That's just me inferring. I don't know if it's true, but it gave off real, I want to make my life seem better, especially since you called me and you needed me. Just real vendetta-y, kind of shady. But you know, he just thanks her and he's just like, okay, good luck with your new man, cool, thank you for doing this again, I'll see you around. So we're back, and Naomi, I don't even know whose house this was. It's either a house that they share or it's Omar's house, I don't know, but Naomi was doing laundry. She was doing Caleb's laundry and she found a vape pen in his clothes. So she goes out to Omar and she was like, I found, you know, drugs, you know, I found drugs in his laundry. And I don't know that weed was in it. It's just a vape pen and it could be like nicotine or nicotine free. But Omar's like, look, okay, let's pause. you know, you're jumping really far. And she's like, well, you're not being hard enough. And he was like, listen, we were both 15-year-olds before. Like, let's take an approach to where we're actually communicating with him and putting ourselves in his shoes so that we can make a decision that he can stand behind versus like us berating him. And so he's coming up with some solutions, and he's like, we just need to be more present in his life, be more active. And, you know, it would be nice if you were also around. And she's like, look, I'm finally like shooting up in my career. I don't even have the time for that. I've sacrificed so much from birth to 15. Like, it's time for you to sacrifice. You need to figure out how you're going to shuffle everything that's going on with work with you so that we could try to like meet in the middle somewhere, because it's always been one-sided. And if we're going to try this new approach and we're going to do this together as a team, then on the building and the planning phase of this team, you're going to have to give a little bit more than you've been used to giving in the past. And I really like that, because it wasn't an argument or anything. They genuinely were just throwing out ideas and trying to figure out what was going to stick. So in the spirit of it being a good mood, Omar pivots and lets her know like, hey, you know, Keith is getting married and they're going to the Bahamas. And we always said that we wanted to honeymoon there, but we never got a chance to. So I was wondering, would you like to be my plus one? It don't have to be no pressure. You don't have to be my date, but just a way for us to get away, get a break, and just like blow off some steam. You're busy with work, I'm busy with work, but we deserve this, and we owe this to ourselves to just go on vacation and just get back to the friendship of us. And surprisingly, well, not surprising to me, like you could tell they still love each other, but she agrees. So that's really nice. I'm really excited for them. So we're at the restaurant, and Greg is a sous chef. So Chef asked him to be a sous chef because they were looking for a position. And I think this is like his first big night because he is stressed. And he's seeing some of the, the line cooks put in like hella sugar in the yams and hella sugar in the sweet tea. And so he's like, don't you think that's too much? And they're like, bro, chill. Like, who do you think taught us this recipe? So you could just kind of see them kind of like laughing behind, like, so you think you're better than us because you just graduated culinary school? But you know, it's, if you know chef culture, if you know like the food industry, it's crazy, baby. It's dog eat dog out there. Like, you got to do what you need to do. But he makes his correction, and they reluctantly and shadily like try to take his direction. And so he's like stalking the door and watching everybody eat, and he's stressed out and stuff like that. But it's just really nice to see that Greg went from having no direction and kind of just wandering aimlessly in life to caring about something and actually pursuing this dream, especially because he didn't go to college. So we have him finally going to like culinary school, and he's really passionate about something, and he's pouring into a mentee in the boys and girls program. So while I got beef with the actor who plays Greg, I love Greg's character so much. I love Greg so much. It's crazy like how much I connect to that character. And I think there's all the characters are dynamic, but one that stands out and reaches to me above all of them is Greg. So Jarvis calls Keith, and he's like, Keith, bro, like, do you think I'm soft? Like, Lisa basically called me a square. And Keith was like, nah, bro, like, everything is cool. Like, she probably was just saying that to get under your skin. Let her do her. Like, it's nothing that you need to do and nothing that you need to change up. But Jarvis is like, well, maybe I need to be spontaneous and bring, you know, me a baddie, bring me a date, see a win. And then Keith is like, time out. Like, we're not gonna be doing all that. Like, just chill, get out there, have a good time, do you, discover you. Like, you're newly divorced. It's really not that deep. Like, figure out who Jarvis is outside of being married and outside of whatever it is that you told yourself that you were. So we're seeing Jarvis, a theme of Jarvis is like an identity crisis. And again, I talked about before, like him reconnecting with his blackness, trying to figure out what that looks like in his personal life, in his professional life. And then just now as he's trying to like navigate dating and just being like, am I a square? Am I a loser? Am I this, that, and the third? Like, you're just Jarvis. you don't have to be a certain way or be a player or do anything like that to prove anything. And so he's working internally to figure that out himself. So all his friends are telling him this, but he's having like this internal pull where he is on this journey to figuring that out. While they're on the phone, Keith was like, I gotta go, because he sees somebody trying to like get into a car out of his window. So he's go downstairs and he's like, hey, like, what's up? Like, are you trying to break into this car? And the guy was like, bro, you think I'm out here trying to break into my own car? Like, I'm just out here trying to get in there because I left my keys inside the center console. I can't believe you up there judging me, bro. Like, bros gotta stick together. It's already tough out here in these neighborhoods, and we over here, all this black on black crime, and yet you coming out here and you accusing me? And Keith is like, hold on, like, brother, twin, where have you been? You are so right. Bros before hoes, we gotta stick together. Like, what you need me to do? And the guy was like, you know, just put your fingers right here. I'm gonna put this out real quick, and you know, just hold the door open, and then we gonna get in there. So they get the door open, and Keith was like, bro, anytime I can help you. Like, what you up to this weekend? And bro was like, hey man, don't ever change, bro. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the community that I'm talking about, that we own. I'ma catch you around the way. Have a good night, brother. Peace. Black power and all those things. And as he pulls off, Rich is running across the street like, Keith, what the hell? And that's when Keith realizes he helped the guy steal Rich's car. he said, Keith, are you a praying man? You better talk to him. Talk to him. And Keith is just standing there. He's like, so am I still gonna get my check this month? So there's that on Johnson, season 4, episode 3, The Help. I love the name of this episode because you think it's just going to be about like Omar getting help at his job, but it was really about him hiring new help for his job. Then we have Jarvis getting help from his ex. We have Keith getting help from Rich by trying to get like more income. Greg wanting to help Darius. Greg at work getting some of the shadiest help, but it is what it is. While him also trying to drop like some culinary nuggets and things that he learned from there as well. Then we have Keith helping a thief get away with a car. So a very appropriate name for a really funny episode. So my final thoughts on the episode, other than the 2.5 minutes of me crying, laughing, I don't even know if I'm gonna do like final thoughts anymore on this show, because I just genuinely love this show. It makes me feel happy. Like when I watch Abbott Elementary, like I feel happy and I feel good. It's such a positive representation of people who look like me, people who look like my brothers, my uncles, my cousins, my father, my co-workers and stuff like that. So it's just really nice to see, and I love that we're still able to keep a lot of comedy notes with the dramatic effect. And this episode was very even. It was even. I felt like the things that should have been addressed and the serious things that should have been addressed were addressed, and everything that was funny wasn't misplaced or falling flat or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know. Again, 5 out of 5, no notes, 10 out of 10. Like, it is what it is. Catch all new episodes again on Saturdays. Bounce TV, okay? Bounce on that ad. Bounce on that ad. Beyonce just took over. But anyways, if you like this video, if you liked my review, go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on the podcast on Spotify as well. Follow me on Apple Podcasts as well. Follow me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast. I'm So There's That Podcast across Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And you can also get the rest of my thoughts and me harassing the writers of the show, talking to you, Deji, on Twitter at Kivanshi. And anything else? Am I plugging anything? I don't have anything to plug. Not right now. But the other stuff, it's not appropriate for this podcast episode. But anyways, thank you guys for rocking with me. We are almost at 20 episodes. Oh my God, this is episode 19. I'm so excited. So thank you for journeying with me, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Phase it.